If she's still in ICU, that suggests that maybe there was a pneumonia, like an aspiration, maybe her breathing wasn't as regular as you would want it to be, and it also makes me wonder, could there be need for cardiac monitoring? Could this have been a stimulant? Might there have been a cardiac arrhythmia of some type? That 2 days in an ICU is meaningful. Well, the mental health team, I'm certain, would descend on her even in the ICU if she's awake and alert and with us. They're there. But the fact that she's in a medical ICU means that still is a priority, and she's not quite yet stable. I had understood that she was just sort of well and recovering, but if she's still in an ICU, that tells us something. If she were somebody struggling in sobriety in the beginning, categorically I'd put them in a long-term program. But this is somebody who's had great success in sobriety, has a lot going on that explains how she got into this state presently. I don't know. It really depends what's going on. That's actually a very sophisticated question. You know, does she have to go away for a while? Can she do outpatient? Don't know. 6 years of sobriety is real deal sobriety. And I hear she still uses sober coaches, which is what people on the road do oftentimes. And that always worries me that they feel rocky in their sobriety. They need that still years down the line, but okay. But it does kind of suggest she needs to really focus on some of her mental health issues as her job right now for the time being. Well, marijuana maintenance is a whole complicated topic. You want me to get into that?
I mean, I don't think it's...
If for somebody like Demi Lovato, marijuana maintenance would be a bad idea. But if somebody's asking me, would I rather somebody take heroin or get strung out on high doses of cannabis? Much rather have the cannabis. Much, much, much. If she was an opiate overdose, the friends could have saved her life with the Narcan. The Surgeon General of the United States is suggesting that we all carry Narcan. It's a nasal spray. I keep 2 on me at all times. It's very easy to use. You can't do any harm with it. It's just something it can either be an injection or it can be through intranasal spray. And it blocks all the opiate receptors in your central nervous system, so the heroin or the OxyContin, whatever, is knocked out of the receptors and you wake up. And it has no ill effect, although you can kick somebody into withdrawal, because again, you're going from intoxicated to fully free of the drug. But in terms of the Narcan hurting somebody, it is a harmless drug, and I'm a huge advocate. If people want to use Narcan, listen, naloxone, Narcan, various versions of it are good for chronic treatment for addictions of various types, alcohol, cocaine even sometimes, and for sure, opiates. You can have recurrent injections, but you can have an implantable Narcan, you know, that releases it slowly over long periods of time. There is such a thing. No. And there's an injectable lasts for a month. The main thing for Demi Lovato is for her to reassemble her team and for them to really get together and look at and think about why this happened, what kind of support she needs, motivational enhancement, you know, what they can do to really strengthen her sobriety and recovery if she's willing, if she's ready, and get a plan together. And that plan may be a long stay somewhere, it may not. Again, because I have to be there with her to really make that kind of a decision. You know, and sometimes people will take sort of lower levels of care to see how it goes. And that's quite okay, as long as she's being watched very carefully and she's very honest about what she's experiencing. Let me just preface this by saying you're asking me a question because I'm not there and don't have the details. It's very hard. So in a general sense, I would want to know what her motivation is. I want to know where you're at, how she's doing. And if she's unmotivated and somehow deep in her illness, I'd have to work on that first. You've got to understand, she may be in that kind of state. That's possible. I don't think so. I think she will begin to, my expectation would be that she would begin to look to a team for advice and guidance. And so what I would be saying was, you know, the standard kinds of thing, which is, you know, get your sponsor, your 3 meetings a day, get a commitment. You're just another human being with addiction. You're not special. You're a great person, but as an addict, you can't be special. You're just another human with addiction. Then, let's make sure her bipolar disorder is being properly assessed. We may want to have consultation on that. Let's make sure her eating disorder is being thoroughly assessed. Let's look at the trauma stuff. And maybe there's some childhood trauma issues that need to be dealt with at some point. All of that has to be evaluated thoroughly for her to really get well.